Okay.
It's all yours.
Thank you, Peter, and it's an honor for me to be here in this wonderful store. You're very privileged to have a business like this that is dedicated to the art of music reproduction, particularly at the high level that Peter has chosen to do this. It's wonderful to have our product within this range of superb things that he has put together to offer to you, his clients, in this part of the world. You're very, very fortunate. You're very, very blessed. And I'm fortunate and blessed to be here, so I thank you. I want to tell you a little bit about my impression, though, when I first walked into this store. I came in with my colleague Michael Huygen, who's in the other room, and he is with Wadia, which is the distributor of Wilson products throughout the Benelux countries. And we came in, I'd never been here, maybe we met once briefly in one of the shows in Amsterdam. And I came into this room, and he had been working on the setup of the speakers for some time. He had them in the room 2 weeks, but then had been working very intensely. And I walked in, and they sounded to me extraordinary. I was dumbfounded by how far he had taken the positioning of the speaker and his careful attention and so forth. And then I got together with him, and I put some of my knowledge and expertise in terms of it, and we took it another level. And then after I left, he stayed another 5-6 hours that night and took it to another level. So to put it, 10 being perfect, when I came in there already an 8, 8.5, I took it to about a 9, and then by the time I came back the next day, he had them at a 10. And what you're hearing is a 10. And I make no apologies for the sound that these speakers are making in this room. If you don't like them, you simply don't like them. But if you do like them, this is representative of the best that they can do. Now, what is the point of the story? The point of the story is very, very, very important. And that is that these speakers represent 30 years or more of technology development by David Wilson. And he invests everything he can into the design and development and the manufacturing of these speakers. They are built to a standard that is unparalleled in the hi-fi world. Then they're put in crates. Then they're shipped out into the world. The big problem is that the sound that they then make in the end user's home can only be as good as the person that set them up. And that is a really, really critical component. And what I discovered in Peter when I came in was I discovered that there's a master. He's a master. He's dedicated his life to tuning systems and making them sound really beautiful. Now, what is the point of that? The point of it is that we live in an era with internet technology. We live in an era where a lot of us have a mindset, and I don't blame them. I mean, we can see something like a Wilson speaker available at a certain price, and we get it because it's available and it might be used and whatever, for whatever reason. Then we get it in our home. But the reality is that what you now have in your home is an orphan. I don't know if that word translates. It has no heritage anymore because the mind, the power, the skill, the capability of someone who is really experienced, either through his 35 years of doing this, or maybe someone that I've helped train, which is part of my job, where they know what the speaker can do, and it's their job to find the potential of that speaker in your living room. I guarantee you that you can't do it on your own. No matter how smart you are, no matter how much experience you have as an audiophile, you don't know how to make these speakers perform the way these speakers are. I can also guarantee you that if we move these speakers 1 inch, 25 millimeters, in any direction, they go from a 10 to about a 6 in terms of performance. That's critical. Now, does that mean that our speakers are impossible to use? No. What it means is that they're such refined devices, so low in coloration, capable of so much, that you must have a craftsman, someone who really understands what they can do to help you extract that performance. Think about a Ferrari. If you bought the Italia, what good would that car be to you if it was not set up by someone who really knows what that car's supposed to do? Let's say they shipped it out of the factory and God knows after it's run in, the valves are no longer at the same time. I mean, things happen. you need someone who really keeps that car at its highest level for you to get the value that you paid for. And the same thing is true of something like this. And thank you, Peter, for providing that level of expertise. And,
You're welcome.
and anyway, I wanted to just sort of jump into that before I start making music. And the only other thing I'll say is that, again, these are the Maxx Series 3. If you like what these speakers do, but you don't have a room that can allow for them to be, or you don't have the budget, or you have a significant other that says no way, then I can guarantee you that she or he might say, maybe the Sasha or the Sophias might be an option. All I can tell you is that if you love these, if you like the sound they make, you will very much like the Sasha or the Sophia as well. Because the same driver, the same mid-range tweeter drivers are in all three models, number one. Number two, they all come from the same mind of David Wilson. They're all built by the same hands. We don't have different assembly lines. The same people that custom make the speaker also make the other speakers as well. And they sound more alike than they are different. The big difference is this is for a nice sized room like this. This is capable of extraordinary dynamic range, as is the Sophia and the Sasha. But this is simply more of a good thing, if that makes any sense. What I offer to you is this: that very few of us can. I'm fortunate I have a pair of these at home, so I'm very partial. But if you like what these do, but cannot visualize them in your room, but maybe you might have a better chance of thinking in terms of a Sasha or a Sophia. Those are acceptable, and I invite you, Peter will have them here for you to audition and to make up your own mind as well. So, before I do anything else, any quick questions from anybody? Any thoughts, concerns? I'm here, I know a little bit about this stuff. I'm gone. Now's your chance. Okay, that's a good thing. I think what you really want is for me to shut up and play music. Is that it? Okay, I'll do that. What I'm going to do is play off of this device here, which is my computer. And in this thing here, I have about 500 CDs, which I've ripped into the computer, along with 200 or 300 of my own personal recordings, which as a recording engineer I've been doing. I record classical music, have done for several decades, mostly in churches, concert halls. I rarely work in studios, I always work in live situations with an audience, because that's to me where real music happens. And my job is like a big game hunter. I try and go out there and capture it, and put it as a trophy on my sonic wall. So that's kind of how I view it. Especially Mahler. Mahler is the big game of all time. But let me start off with a few CDs that I have in there, just to give you some things. One thing that there are a lot of us in the room. This is a very democratic CD, meaning that everybody in the room will have the same experience, because it's not so much about imaging, and the imaging is best for those that are up here, but it gives you an idea of the depth and breadth of this loudspeaker. The things that Peter's just played for you show many facets. This is going to show yet another facet of the speaker, that is its ability to go very, very, very deep, and do it in a very convincing way.
You have lunch already?
Yeah, if you did, this is going to help digest it. You'll see what I mean.